Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on electric vehicle technology. In this video, we are going to discuss about the challenges faced by having an EV charging infrastructure. So far we have discussed about what is an EV, what are the different types of EV, what are the different types of electric motors used for EV, and then we have discussed about the powertrain topologies, vehicle dynamics, and finally we started discussing about the charging infrastructure and along with the energy storage systems, wherein which we have discussed about what are the different batteries used for EVs, the ultra capacitors, superchargers, and now we are going to discuss about the charging infrastructure and its challenges. So now let's get into the video. First, as we know, what is an EV? It is an electric vehicle. An electric vehicle is a vehicle powered by the electricity. Basically, it is of three types: battery electric vehicles, plug-in, and hybrid electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are pure electric vehicles which is completely powered by the electricity, and plug-in electric vehicles is a combination of electric as well as internal combustion engines. Hybrid electric is also a type of is also like PHEVs, but primarily combustion engine with battery assisted power. Why we need an EV? Yes, it offers zero CO2 emissions, reduced dependency on fossil fuels, and of course, at low operating and maintenance costs, these EVs are available. So that is why customers are now switching their eyes from internal combustion engine vehicles to EVs. Now, why EV charging infrastructure matters? As we know, now the current trend in vehicles is the EV. So EV market is now spreading wide over among the customers, and this EV adoption is increasing worldwide. So it is basically the backbone that decides whether electric vehicles actually become very practical for everyday life or remain a niche option. But as of now, this nearly 30% of the vehicle sales is contributed by these EVs. And right now, buying an EV is only half the story. The real experience depends on how easily, quickly, and reliably you can charge it. So, buying and using an EV vehicle is not a big deal, but whether we have a proper EV charging infrastructure, that matters more. So, when we are in need of an EV charging infrastructure, first we need to have an EV charging standards. Why it matters? Because standardization reduces the infrastructure cost. As we know, different countries adopts different kind of EVs. No, EV is not globally same. It is different. It varies from manufacturers to manufacturers. It varies with countries to countries. As we know, the power specifications varies from countries to countries. Same way, the uh, EV usage also varies with person to person as well as among different manufacturers and among so there is a diversity in the usage of EVs. So, in order to enable a global EV mobility, this EV charging standard is much needed. So now let's empathize. Why do different countries adopt different charging standards? Because they have different EV manufacturers who manufactures their chargers for their country specifications, power specifications. So these different countries adopt different charging standards primarily due to their historic development, their local grid infrastructure, and their power specifications, regulatory traditions, and protection of domestic industries. And as we know, these electricity is spread over across the countries. They have their own plug shapes, safety standards, as well as power voltages that often prioritize homegrown technologies. And that is why these different countries adopt different charging infrastructure standards. Now, let's see what are EV charging stations. So, basically, an EV charging station is a facility just like your petrol bunk. It is a facility that supplies electrical energy to charge EV batteries. So whenever you are out of fuel, you go for a petrol bunk to refill your tank, right? The same way, when you are out of charge, you go near, if you are near to a EV charging uh, facility, you can go and charge your vehicle. So just like a EV, petrol bunk, it will act as an EV charging stations. The major components in an EV charging stations are the power source. You have a charging connector, that is the plug point, and you have a control unit for safety and power management, and you have a communication interface for user interaction and the network connections. And these are the basic charging station networks which are currently available. The major charging stations are Tesla Superchargers, ChargePoint, Electrify America, EVgo, Ionity. So these are the charging networks that are prevalently available in the European countries. And these charging station features are, they provide real-time availability and status updates, and we have mobile app integration for payment and navigation, as well as it is a subscription based or pay per use models. So just like your petrol bank usage, these EV charging stations are also providing mobile apps for easy user access, as well as they are providing subscription based also. And through these mobile app, you can see about your plug point availability in your nearby charging locality. So to have a perfect charging infrastructure, what are the challenges we face? Let's see in detail. First is the infrastructure gap. We have lot of EV users but insufficient charging stations in rural and remote areas. That is what infrastructure gap. Next is compatibility issues. Each manufacturer has different plugs and different power ranges. So these different connectors and charging standards is quite uh, creating a chaos while using these EV charging stations. And also the main thing, grid demand. When the EV users increases, there is an increased load on the power grid because of this EV chargings. So this demand is now being imposed to the grid only. So the grid has to satisfy this demand also. So it has to predict this demand in prior, and it should act smart when more number of EV are getting charged simultaneously. And finally, the cost. To have a perfect EV charging infrastructure, you need a high initial investment for charging station deployment. So, what are the future trends in this EV charging? Currently, we are using super chargers. Now they are looking for ultra fast chargers, which charges very fast. That is, within a 15 minutes, the charging will go for nearly 50 percentage of this total kilowatt. And then higher voltages, which is 800 below voltage plus, and advanced cooling systems are also being going to be incorporated in the future EVs. And currently we are using static chargings for EVs. In future, wireless charging along with dynamic charging for EVs, that is EV while in motion, it is going to get charged, that will be incorporated in your future EV. And an important topic, which is vehicle to grid technology, which allows bidirectional charging to supply energy back to the grid, that will also be uh, expected in your future. And renewable energy integrations, so far they are now looking for solar powered charging stations for sustainable energy. So in future we can see lot of solar powered EVs. So these are the case studies regarding this EV, where in which we can see about Tesla superchargers and Electrify America and Ionity. So, in a gist, EV charging infrastructure is critical for widespread adoption of EVs. Standardization, network expansion, and technological innovations will shape the future of EV chargers. And also, to have a better EV charging infrastructure, the government and industries and also the individuals need to collaborate to accelerate the transition and electric mobility. So far we have discussed about what is EV charging stations and what are the challenges it faces. In the next video, we will see a different topic in detail. Thank you. Thanks for listening.